Good morning. My name is Marilia Cunha. I'm a consultant at SPI, Portuguese Society of Innovation, partner in dissemination of this project. This project, we also have an office in China, so our team is also composed of some members of the China office. So, as Gabriela told you, I'm going to talk about Chinese research funding and LinkTADs online cooperation opportunities, which is available on the website. First, I will talk about an overview of the Chinese research and innovation programs. Then, very briefly, an example of the TADs-related project, as this is linked with our project as well. And then, how to find the opportunities on the LinkTADs platform. So, in terms of the overview of the Chinese research and innovation programs, we have three main areas, so three main programs first. The Chinese mainland national programs, then the regional programs, and then the Hong Kong programs. And when we are talking about the mainland national programs, we talk about we have to talk about the current ones, but we also need to talk about the restructuring of these programs that is taking place at least until 2017. And when we talk about the current national funding programs, we see that they are mostly sponsored by those four institutions: Ministry of Science and Technology, the National Electrical Science Foundation of China, the Chinese Academy of Sciences, and of course the China scholarships. So I will go through all of them shortly, but hopefully with a brief introduction of So in terms of the first one, national, so the program sponsored by the Ministry of Science and Technology, the first one, the National Basic Research Program, which is called 973 program. This is actually a funny fact. It's called like that because it started in September 73, so that's why it's called 973 program. And this program is focused on innovation studies of major scientific issues related not only to sustainable development, but specifically on agriculture, energy, information, resources and environment, but also population and health initiatives. The second one, you can see, which is called, it's known as 863 program, also because it was launched in August 63, so very easy to remember. This program is more focused on the responses to the innovation gap between the East and Western China. So the priorities for this program have included the development of key technologies also in the main areas of information infrastructure, biological, agricultural and pharmaceutical sectors, new materials, and also very much focused on environmental resources as well. So the National Key Technologies Research and Development Program is, I'm not going to focus so much on that one. So going to the fourth one, the International S&T Cooperation Program, which the main aim is to support the Chinese scientists in international research activities. And this is an interesting fact, foreign organizations can also be eligible partners in this program. So it covers the international cooperation projects launched under this China's multilateral and bilateral agreements with other countries. And there are two sub-schemes in this, under this program: the Special Funds Program and the Bilateral S&T Cooperation Program between governments. And then you have other type of programs such as TORCH, which is more focused on SMEs and high-tech SMEs. So it's not so much for well, it's also for research, but not so much in this field. As you can see here, many of the calls are open to new partners as well, but they always have to be led by a Chinese applicant. If the project, for some reason, is led from overseas, it always has to have a formal link, a formal establishment with the Chinese host organization, being a university, research institution, or government. So it's really important to have a strong Chinese partner, especially not only because, of course, all the documents have to be submitted in Chinese. Of course, I have to follow all the rules, but of course, because this is important to have also a good strategy to support the proposal. Moving on to the program sponsored by the National Natural Science Foundation in China. We have the major international joint research program, which was established by SFDC, which is one of the sub-schemes of the International Cooperation and Exchange Program. This program aims to speed up the development of scientific and innovative research, also to enhance China's international competitiveness in basic research. I'm not really going through the links, but you have also the links there in the website. The presentation will be available on the website after, so you can also go for more information. So the programs sponsored by the Chinese Academy of Sciences are one of them is the CAS 100 Talent Program, which aims not only to support but also to invite experts of those following categories to China. So you can see you have the 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 categories: overseas talent, domestic talent, project-based domestic and overseas talent, the winner of National Excellence Young Scientists Fund, the winner of the Youth 1000 program, overseas and domestic talent funded by individual employers. So this is more linked to young researchers, but so it's also an interesting program as well. Another one of the programs is the CPCCC 1000 Talent Plan, which accepted applications also the following 5 types of projects, so not only innovative as well, long-term and short-term, but also entrepreneur programs and foreign expert programs, and again also more focused on young talents. I'm not sure if the sound is okay. It's okay. So the fourth option of the programs sponsored by the China Scholarship Council are those four programs there. The first one is the China UNESCO The Great Wall Fellowship, which is a full scholarship program for candidates recommended by the UNESCO, and it's only available to applicants who go as well to study as general scholars or senior scholars. Then the Chinese government scholarship scheme supports students that go to study to China on undergraduate or postgraduate programs, or even Chinese language training programs. So it's not so only focused on sciences or natural sciences. So also with language competence skills. And then the third one, the Distinguished International Student Scholarship, also aims at sponsoring outstanding students who have finished the bachelor degree or undergraduate degree in China and are doing their master or doctoral programs. The fourth one is also the University Postgraduate Program, which is also a full scholarship program aiming to support the Chinese universities to recruit postgraduate students. Again, you have more information on the link, not going through the sites, but you have all this information. As I mentioned before, there has been a restructuring of those national funding programs with the main objectives of strengthening the top-level design, also to highlight the national priorities, and strengthen the ties as well between science and economy, develop also performance-based supervision and evaluation system, and again improve openness, transparency, and public supervision. So the main objectives are those, with also the focus of highlighting the national key research and development programs to address these key S&T issues with also strategic importance not only for the economic but also for the social development in the priority areas, trying to cover the whole innovation chain basic research, applied research, development, and administration. So those national key programs that we have referred are being restructured and will hopefully be fully implemented in 2017 next year. If you remember from the first slide, we also had the Chinese mainland regional programs. So in mainland China, there are also several regional agencies that provide support to researchers. And among them, those are the major funding agencies, and the main programs also open to European researchers, include the Beijing International Cooperation Program, the Shanghai, and the Guangdong International Cooperation Program. The last program is the Hong Kong programs as well, which cover the 5 topics listed there: Innovation and Technology Commission, the Research Grants Council, the Environmental Conservation Fund, the Croucher Foundation, and also the Food and Health Bureau, divided into the Health and Health Services Research Fund and the Research Fund for the Control of Infectious Diseases. If you want some more information on these programs, or if you have more questions, you can also discuss in the end. But if I'm also not able to provide you with a correct answer, I can always put you in contact as well with my Chinese colleagues, who are much more aware of all the deadlines of all the documents that are needed to apply to these programs. So, as I mentioned, I'm going now very briefly to describe an example of a TAD-related project. So in this case, is the eco-immunology and risk analysis of genotype shift, the Japanese encephalitis virus aphids and mosquitoes. So this project is still in duration. It started in 2015 January, and it will finish next year in December. It has a considerable budget, and the consortium is composed by CIHAC, one of our partners, but also by the Shanghai Veterinary Research Institution and the SVA. So the objectives are to explore the mechanisms of this genotype shift, and also analyze the risk of genotype shift on drug control. I cannot tell you much more on this project, sorry, but this is one of the examples that. So one of our presentations will be exactly on this project. So if you have any questions, you can ask those. So maybe I'm just going to move forward since we are going to expand on this. So and now the most interesting part, well, not the most interesting part, of the live part that you can actually visit. It's our online platform available in our website that will also be available after the program, where you can find maybe I'm going to the website directly. Maybe it's easier. Just a second. So here you can see, yes, you can see the website, and you can see here the tab services, and then here you can see the find funding. So you can just or type a keyword or look for a specific grant type, for instance, an award grant, a capacity building operating grant, or a contest, or an event grant, or a fellowship. Depending on what you want, you can find here already. You can define the type of grant that you are looking for. You can also look for the type of activities funded, for example, dissemination activities or exchange activities, market preparation activities, promotion and networking. It really depends on what type of activities you are looking for, and of course the eligible community. So let's, for instance, look for China here. You submit, and you can see here all the information that comes up just by looking China. So it was very vague. It was not a very specific criteria that we selected. So you can see all the information here. It has the type of grant, the activities funded, and also short description on the and if you click on the title, it will open the information directly in the home page. So you have all the information. You can also, of course, do the partner search as well, but student. So this is a very comprehensive database. It's of course, as Gabriela and as it was said previously, it will be live after the end of the project. I'm not exactly sure if it will be possible to maintain it updated, but at least the information now is updated, and you can look for it. So I don't know if you have any question on this or on the programs or on how to search for information. In any case, if you have any other questions in the meantime, I can also put you in contact with my colleagues from the Chinese office and the other departments as well. Yes?
Yes? Is all the funding that you are selecting under this platform related to epidemiology and laboratory research, or do you have a mixture of animal health related funding?
And all the different activities that you can have within research. So we did not differentiate between lab and FD, let's say, in the funding, but we included all of the different funding opportunities that might be available in China or in the EU for EU-China collaboration within animal health research, that is basically there. So let's say the travel funding or exchange programs and so on, those are generic ones, and then if you have an idea in animal health research, then you could use those funding opportunities to apply with a specific topic. That's the whole point. Yes.
As keywords there, is it like what epidemiology, life sciences, humanistic sciences?
We can try if epidemiology, brings something up.
If I spell it right,
It's why
yes, keyboard is a bit different from mine. Sorry.
it's Hungarian keyboard.
So I have no idea where the in this specific case, you only have two. So actually, it's not a very broad choice.
Yeah, all
Yes.
countries, yes.
Yes. But you can
And
also.
when you're looking for funding, you shouldn't be so specific as looking for funding before an epidemiology project. Otherwise, you might have a really hard time finding the good source. The most of the funding opportunities have a generic platform, basically, and within that, you're coming up with a good idea. And that idea could be in the laboratory research or in the epidemiology or in both. Okay.
So, I'm not sure. Sure?
Yeah, I missed something, but I don't think you mentioned the Chinese Academy of Agricultural Sciences. Is that because they're not a funding body, or they're funded by the Ministry of Agriculture, or they get their funding?
But if you're interested, there's a summary, actually. It's one of the deliverables that we come up with, a summary report where all of the different Chinese funding opportunities are listed. And also there's a website where the updated information on these opportunities is always available. So all of the people could check the very updated list of all of the different calls and funding programs that are available from China.
They're funded through the Chinese Academy of Agricultural Sciences. The Harbin laboratories and the laboratory Lanzhou as well, they come under the Chinese Academy of Agricultural Sciences.
Yeah, but because they belong to the class system, they constantly have to funding
so they get funding really.
Yes.
But the individual research.
Yeah. Actually, CAS owns five veteran research institutions, so they all get funding from CAS, and they also apply for the 973 project as well.
There's also provincial funding.
In the consortium, the Staridos consortium, that's why you have CAS, because all of the institutions belong to the other questions for Rebecca?
I've actually done a quick search for welfare, and there is actually a welfare grant coming up as well, so I think it covers both animal health and welfare, which is quite helpful.
So it is a keyword welfare.
I put welfare, and the first one at the top was an Animal Welfare Foundation research grant, and there are a couple that are related specifically to animal welfare, and perhaps then how it links with the health. Exactly.
What we could do is include functional instructions how to search for the specific funding sources if you're interested specifically in animal health research funding.
In any case, it's always good to look for several, look for keywords, but also look for the grant type activities funded to see if you miss some of the opportunities just because you didn't type the right keyword. But in any case, instruction guide might be helpful in the future. I'm not sure if you had a question.
Question: for how long has this site been running?
Since the beginning of the launch, then of course we updated with all the different functionalities along the way. So of course the database was not ready yet. Well, Europemedia is maintaining already an international funding database for all the different funds available, and we update it regularly. So those that we update and refer to China, we always put also on LinkTADs. So there is an automatic connection between those two. It's called Grants Portal, and that is that Europemedia is maintaining. And whenever there's a connection with China, we upload it to LinkTAD's website. Actually, we are just about to update a database now. So it might happen that in the Grants Portal you find a few posts that are a little bit outdated. Sorry for that. But yeah, fine. I mean, it's one of the scopes of Europemedia, but there's a number of organizations who already look for additional sources and efforts and trainees and whoever who helps us to update the databases. But LinkTADs is a kind of updated one, yes. And we'll be again by the end of the project to have all of these new programs launched as well. So thank you, Marilia.
Thank you.